All right. Let me turn that on real quick. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Let me get my headphones on real quick. All right. Cool. Then I'm good on volume. Awesome. I hope that the music is not overpowering my voice. That is the absolute last thing that I would want to happen. I want y'all to be able to hear me, not for my voice to be overtaken by the music. Alright, so that being said, let's go ahead and get into this analysis. What's going on, y'all? Good evening, and thank you for checking out another one of my weekly Forex and crypto analysis. I do appreciate it. It's your boy ABK. So let's go ahead and get on with my fundamental analysis. And as you guys, for those who are tuning in once again from previous analysis, as you guys know, I'm not a fundamental analysis at all. I don't really necessarily pay that much attention to the fundamental news, the news that comes out. What I usually do is just check and see what time are these news events going on. And as you guys can see here, I've cleared off from the orange, yellow, and gray folders. I only like to focus on high impact news, right? I don't like to focus on other news events because they're not as impactful as the high impact news, right? So with that being said, let's go ahead and go on to it and just look at what's going to be happening throughout the week. So Tuesday, 2:30 a.m. we have Euro news, the German flash manufacturing PMI and flash services. We don't watch for that for the Euro. 7 p.m. Central Standard Time we have NZD news, which we have the official cash rate and the monetary policy statement, and the press conference. The press conference is what you really want to pay attention to, because well, not necessarily what you want to pay attention to. If you have the stream, by any chance, you might be able to find that on YouTube. You can hear what the New Zealand dollar will be doing based off of the what will be said at the press conference. But other than that, this is a news event that could shake up the NZD pairs. So watch for that. Wednesday, we have prelim GDP, core PC price index, and FOMC meeting minutes. So definitely want to watch out for that, because the FOMC meeting minutes, that's something that I would pay personally. I'd be watching for more over than everything else on Wednesday, but still watch out for the rest of them. Thursday, we have GP news, where we have the governor speaking. And then Friday, Treasury currency report, which has been tentative and it's been popping up every week for like the past month. So, yeah, that's it for the fundamental news. Going on over back to the charts. Let's go ahead and get things started. So, going on to the weekly time frame on the DXY. So I remember I was saying the DXY last week. I had mentioned that right here is I was saying that I wouldn't necessarily try to get into a sell so quick on the DXY, right? I was saying that the DXY trying to get into a buy really quick might be a bad play. And for those who are in DeFi domination and then everything else, with that being said, I'm just like over here like, all right, I actually saw some price action that could have gotten us into a pretty risky sell, and that didn't end up playing out. I just want to go ahead and point that out real quick. So after this drop happened, I was like, okay, let's see what the retracement is going to be like over here. But price ended up continuing going bullish, but it was just a minor trade, right? So, but anyways, I was basically saying that I should have taken my own advice, because again, trying to catch a top right here, not necessarily the play, but I was trying to see if price was going to retrace back into this buy box to continue going bullish, and I still feel that same way. I still feel that same way. Like right now, it's a little too risky to try to get into any type of buys, but from the bullish move, I still do want price to retrace back to the downside. Like, that would probably be the only way that I would try to get into another buy on the DXY. Like, as much as it's been really bullish, I'm not so quick to get into a play right now. But I do want to try to get into the bullish move rather than anything else. You know, this has been bullish. Once price starts to show signs of retracing, which it really hasn't been, which it really has not been at all. It is not showing any signs for retracing it quite yet. That's when I'd be like, okay, now I want to see price come back down to 94.150, or as we see on the chart, 94.146. I'm just rounding up. Then I would be like, okay, that's when I'll start to look for long-term buy positions on the dollar again, right? Or dollar-related pairs. So that's basically what I'm still seeing on the DXY. I mean, right now we do have a possible double top. This wick was left on, let me go on to the 1 hour time frame. It's not even a wick. It's more of like tweezer tops. Actually, you know, it was crazy enough. I liked seeing that tweezer tops right there, especially with the bearish engulfing candle and the way how it fell. I'm actually interested to see if the DXY is going to push to the downside right here, because we are seeing this potential tweezer tops right here, and it's a double top at the same time. Like, it's an M formation, right? Like, as some may call that. So it'd be interesting to see what price is going to do. It's already come to this fib, this 71% fib right here. I would want to see if it is going to make this bearish push. I would want to see it make it like at right now, you know? And if it pushes down, then it'll be making like equal lows. As we can see right here on the DXY, it appears that there is a gap. So I actually want to see, yeah, if the DXY could potentially start to fall right here, that should be very interesting. It made this double top right here on the 1 hour time frame. So let's see what happens, you know. I know that there's those equal highs that people might be wary of, but from the way how the market is moving, it looks like price is gonna end up pushing to the downside, you know. But again, trying to get, like, right now it's a little bit too early or too risky, if you will, to try to get in. I mean, I would say if you were gonna try to sell the US dollar, now is the best time to do it, and just put your stop loss at those equal highs or something like that. That's what I would personally say. But other than that, let me delete that so I could draw this up better and actually have my drawing tool stay on. So got a double top, price continuation to the downside. Once price breaks through these lows right here, that's when I'll start to be like, okay, yes, now I could potentially really see the DXY start to make that retracing move. But until then, again, this might be a little risky, but I do like this. Why is this? There you go. I do like this play right here, where we can possibly see the DXY go bearish after hitting that this supply zone right here, because we did see price end up showing that, yes, it's showing that bearish engulfing candle. And I say it is bearish engulfing because it closed basically at the same price at what this one opened at, and the candle body looks a little bigger, you know. So again, I want to see this end up pushing to the downside, but it's a little risky right now. I'd rather see some higher lows get broken before I start to counter trend trade, because this is an absolute counter trend trade. But again, I like the possibility of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and, yeah, I'm just gonna leave that all up there. I would say I just want to see price drop from here at this point. Alright, so going on over to arbitrage. Oh, did I have the drawings up? Yes, I did. I have. Give me a second. I think I did that by accident. Let me see if I delete remove drawings, if it's gonna appear on the other one as well. Damn, it did. Alright. There we go. Alright, let's just have these drawings up here. Real quick. Let me hide them. I deleted that. Alright, so let's go into the weekly time frame of arbitrage DXY. Oof. That DXY, man, on this weekly time frame is still going bullish. Weekly time frame is still showing a lot of bullish pressure, so it's kind of too early to tell, right? But I do like how the level pro and arbitrage Z are pointing to the downside, so we could start to potentially see a bearish move eventually. But it's still way too early to tell. Same thing on the daily time frame. Still way too early to tell if this is going to turn around, if this is going to go bearish or anything like that. 4-hour time frame, same thing. It looks like it might be setting up, but it's still way too early to tell if this is going to go bearish. 1-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame, it's too bearish as well, right? So again, for me personally, I'm gonna have to be like going just based off of what I had. I'm gonna have to wait basically for the DXY. I can sell it where it's at right now. Again, like I said, maybe have it above these highs for that M pattern possibility. Like I like the looks of it. It doesn't look terrible. And since the DXY has just been so bullish, it'd be pretty decent if we got a retracement before if it's gonna continue going bullish. So yeah, I'm pretty sure on the 15-minute time frame is probably calling for a potential sell. Or no, not yet. So yeah, it's still a little too early. But like I said, if I were to sell it, it'd be right now for the DXY. So there is that. It's going over to Euro USD. Same thing. So basically, same way how I'm feeling. And even on Euro USD, this is something that I actually may go back to DXY and show this before I show this on Euro USD. Going on to the weekly time frame, I'm not even sure if it's the same. If I draw this fib from this high to this low, yeah, it's nowhere even near it. Is nowhere near the 61.8. So that's interesting to see on the weekly time frame on the US dollar. But then if I go on to EU and I do basically the same thing from the low of 1.06, hold on, from the low of 1.06500 to the high of 1.23530 or 500 basically. Let me see what the 1.23. Yeah, 1.2. Actually, this should be 1.23500. Right? Price had dropped. It's right at the 61.8 Fibonacci level right now. I'm trying to see what price is gonna do here, because how price even ended up coming down here from the weekly time frame point of view. Technical analysis wise, we saw that price had made a double top pattern. This was around the 71%, 78.6 fib, and then ended up dropping off, right? So right now I'm kind of like in a place where I'm just like, okay, I want to see what the DXY is really gonna do. I want to see it make some like bullish structure before I decide to buy it long term, right? Because I'm not so sure if I'm looking to buy it long term, although I feel like the DXY is like gonna end up going bearish like on a larger time frame, but that's different. That's a whole different topic for a whole different day. But I'm honestly I'm personally waiting for like 1.11400 ish to get hit before I think that I'm gonna start to be okay. I want to actually start to possibly commit to a buy, but again, it is on the daily time frame. It could take to the end of the year for price to get to down here, right? Price could even just like literally, let's say hypothetically speaking, because from what I'm seeing right here, this looks like a stop plant to the downside. If you go on over to the 1 hour time frame, again, like we have tweezer bottoms action. I mean, this wick is a little lower, but again, that's what I'm saying. Like this looks like a possible stop hunt, and then price went bullish. The retracement. Oops, what am I doing? The retracement that we have here came down to the 71% fib. I mean, I know that it's right when like the market opened at 5 o'clock. It's kind of iffy, but at the same time, I'm just like, hey, if price really does reject from right here and goes bullish, then we could start to see the potential for price to still come up a little more bearish before, bullish before continuing to the downside. Again, I do want to see 1.11400 basically. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to have. It can stay there. 1.11400. That's where I kind of want to see the DXY go down to before I really start saying that, okay, I want to see this go bullish long term. And even that is like too early to tell type of thing. So right now, this is kind of the play that I'm seeing on the on Euro USD for a possible buy. Could be potentially too early, but again, if I were to try to buy it, it'd probably be right now. So buy box. I mean, it's already past my entry, so I would have to wait for a retracement before I try to get in. But again, I'm bullish on, or not. I'm not necessarily bullish, but if I were to want to see anything play out, it's for this buy to play out, and then we could start looking for potential reversals on the DXY. But again, this is pretty risky to take right now. Going on over to arbitrage, going on over to the weekly time frame. Price basically came down to the 30 deviation. I mean, like again, I'm expecting price to start to turn around at this point. Like once it starts getting down to that 30 deviation area, that's why I'm like, okay, maybe you want to start to like, turning around a little bit for like even a little for like even a couple of weeks or something like that. But that's for the weekly, daily time frame. Same thing. It's came and hit the 30 deviation. I want to start to see this thing go bullish even for a little bit. Doesn't have to necessarily call a buy on the daily time frame, but I do want to see it turn around for a little while. Right, 4 hour time frame, same thing. It's very much bearish. Second deviation, left a wick right down there. I like this hammer that I'm seeing. I'm just noticing that right now. But yeah, I want to see Euro USD go bullish overall, guys. But it's still too early to play that type of play. Like on all sides, right? It's still too early. If you were to try to play it now, it's like, okay, maybe you're trying to catch a bottom, which is, there's nothing wrong with that if that's your strategy. But as of right now, I think that I would rather just be patient and wait for this play to actually manifest. I mean, I like the way how it looks. I think there's a lot of confluences with it. Like there's a W on the EU. There's a M, or there's a double bottom on EU. There's a double top on the DXY. Like I like the opportunity there, right? So, okay. AUD USD. AUD, what do I have to say about this? I still am iffy about it. I'm still a little iffy about the AUD USD right now, because I mean, I know that it could still potentially go bullish right here at the 78%. I just, again, way too early to tell with the DXY, because this can just continue falling to the downside if it really wanted to. Came back into this fib box on the higher time frames. So yeah, I mean that's the thing with the US dollar, guys. And I feel like any type of play right now that you're trying to catch it with, it'd be either a good entry for a swing, or you're trying to catch a bottom or a top, you know, which, and again, there's nothing wrong with that, because I mean that's what we're here in the market to do. We're here to analyze it and see what type of plays that we can get. Still see these equal lows down here on AUD/USD though, so this is one thing that I'm really watching out for. I still see this zone. So I want to see what, if price is gonna necessarily snatch here first before trying to go bullish, or if it's just gonna keep going, if it's just gonna keep falling or anything like that, right? Still way too early. Even on the 4-hour time frame point of view, it's way too early. 1-hour time frame. This could be a potential double bottom, but again, I see that there's this possible equal lows that price can just come and snatch. So AUD/USD, even though it's still in the swing buy zone, and if you're still in that long-term sell that I had mentioned like a month or two ago, I mean not a month or two ago, a month. Wait, was it a month? Like when I was saying that, oh, price is gonna fall from right here, and then my entry was like around over here. Let me just go ahead and see if I still have it on here. No, I don't. Okay, but yeah, this thing fell pretty hard. Let me find the play on the chart. I'll be able to find it. So I most likely said from this low. Yep, that's exactly what it was. 78.6. Price went a little higher. I said probably get in at the 71%. Yeah, break even would be hitting. That would have been nice if I would have held that trade, but still, it's all good. So AUD/USD, personally, like I said, it could turn around right here, but again, the possibility of those equal lows getting ran through before price going bullish, that exists pretty hardcore. So that's kind of something that I want to see on AUD/USD right now. If it's gonna take out these equal lows, let it do that, then go bullish. That'd be nice. Arbitrage, going on over to the weekly. Still holding right here at this. Oh, that's interesting. Still holding here at this lower danger zone right here. It's interesting to see for me. Could potentially turn around there, but too early to tell. Again, like I keep saying, daily time frame is on the second deviation, but I wouldn't necessarily try to trade off of that. Or that's the 4-hour time frame. I'm sorry. Daily time frame, it called for the bears right here. I would not have personally got into that trade, and prices underneath the lower danger zone, so that's something to watch for on the daily time frame. It's too early to try to go for a buy. Same thing on the 4-hour, too early. 1-hour time frame, still too early here as well. So yeah, definitely want to be patient if you're looking for any type of buy opportunities on AUD/USD for sure. Again, I'd rather get the fake out to the downside, breakout, retest, continuation type of play. That would be more beneficial over here. And you know what? Let me go ahead and I mean, on the 4-hour time frame, it won't really look like much, but I mean, this is looking kind of this is looking like it could potentially like turn around here. So it could definitely be trying to do something like this and then break out to the upside. That's what I would probably try to look for on this type of play, but it's just not for me right now, quite honestly. I'd rather want to see it just fake out to the downside, breakout, retest, continuation. quite honestly. So that's for AU. I don't know why that's still on. UCHF. All right. So from this bullish move, and prices done pretty nice, up currently like around 150 pips off of that swing trade that I had, that I was talking about. Price has gone up all the way up to about almost 200 pips. Yeah, basically 200 pips. Yeah. So hide that. This is my entry, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete all that. Entry, TP1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so right now on UCHF, right now it's holding at the supply zone that I had drawn out last week, and what that supply zone was for, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not that. Okay. Was for. Why am I hiding that when I can use it? From this high to this low, that bearish push. That's what this supply zone is here for, right? Price had gone up a little bit higher than the 78.6, but then came back down with the bearish engulfing candle, and now it's making that retracement. Right now, I'm kind of feeling that UCHF, if the DXY is going to be turning around right now, then UCHF might be going bearish as well. But the way how UCHF got up here, I'm not saying that it's fast, so I say that it's kind of not even a bad look for any type of sells here. But I would say that if you were to sell and price came any higher than these highs of 0.93300, then I would say, yeah, you might want to try to get out that trade. 1 hour time frame, if I go down deep enough, price can still potentially, let me get rid of this fib real quick, because we know what that fib zone is about. So what we could potentially see here is price can still price can still climb up all the way to 0.9300s and then end up falling. That could be a possibility for sure. That's what I'm going to be watching for, because again, I would want to see if the DXY, I'm planning on seeing the DXY start to turn around, and then I'm gonna be thinking that, okay, maybe UCHF will be doing the same thing, unless the Swiss franc is very bearish, then the USD CHF might just keep going bullish, Currently still in that swing buy, and again, stop losses at break even, and have taken partial profits off of it. So this might be a instance where I'm going to be looking to hedge this, right? I can hedge it to look for a possible second entry, because my first entry is all the way down here. If I'm not mistaken, let me see. Or did I delete it already? But anyways, my entry is all the way over here at 0.91300. So if I'm looking for a possible second entry, getting price to push to the downside wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing, So we'll see what happens though. I'm not gonna necessarily try to get in where price is currently at. I'd rather wait for, like I said, that 9300 before deciding, okay, am I gonna get the price action like on the 5 or 15 or the 5 minute time frame telling me to get into this trade. So arbitrage, weekly time frame, still very much bullish, still over the RSI line, above the upper danger zone right here. Level Pro is right at the ground zero, so that's very interesting to see for me. The ground zero is right there, but it's still calling for a buy, so gonna be Interesting to see what the Swiss franc is gonna do, or the Swiss franc. Sorry. It just called for a buy on Friday on the daily time frame, so I'm just I'm iffy about the sell, kind of. And all signs are still pointing bullish for it on the daily as well, so kind of iffy. 4-hour time frame, it bounced off of the RSI line, so if I were to just want to see anything on the 4-hour, it's a breakout, retest, continuation to the downside type of play. So that's what I would want to see on UCHF, and similar thing happened on UCHF right here, and I had mentioned this in the arbitrage chat where I wanted price to come back up to the RSI line before I look to sell it. It never happened. It is what it is. So yeah, let's see. And I like how prices reject. I don't necessarily like how price is rejecting the upper danger zone. So I would still want to see, again, that push a little bit higher. Push a little higher to 0.9300 and then end up falling. That'd be best for me. Good. So tacos. This annoyed me. I was 12 pips away from my TP1 getting hit, then price turned around on me. But it is what it is, right? So gonna remove draw. I'm gonna actually delete everything else but my zones that I have drawn out. Okay, so going on to the weekly time frame on USD Mexican, got a bullish, a pretty nice bullish candle over here, and price is back up at this zone, right? So again, this is a point in time where I'm just like, it's either the US dollar pairs is gonna hold where it's at, or it's gonna make a reversal. I feel the same way about how the weekly looks right now. We won't get another monthly candle until, I think, how many days? 8 more days. So basically 2 more weeks until we'll get another analysis on the monthly candle, right? But from what I'm seeing right now, price can still potentially go bullish. I mean, but again, I like how this is kind of I wouldn't say that's a stop hunt though. It's just slightly above the previous equal high, or the previous high on this daily time frame back in March, right? So, but what I'm also seeing is that if you get it from the high, then you get that retracement, you still see that price is kind of in that area where it could really turn around and go bearish. So again, it's just like, I don't know really what way I want to play the DXY until I get more confirmations. You know, I'm still feeling that this could potentially fall if that is what it's gonna do, but I wouldn't want to try to get in right now. It's even slightly, it's like, again, still not considerably higher than the 78.6 fib, but it's above it, you know, so it's not necessarily the best play. So I want to see some bearish price I want to see some bearish price action, like on the, I'm pretty sure the 1 hour is definitely not showing that. I want to see some bearish price action over here before I try to get into any type of sell. Like, even if I get something where price falls, like breaks lower than this low or this wick is at, I feel like that wick is going to get filled up, and then price retraces it, then goes bearish, that might be something that I'll look for, you know? That might be something I'll look for a sell. But until then, I'm just being cautious. I'm not really going to try to get into USD Mexican right now. Let me go on over to arbitrage real quick. For RB, what I'm really looking at here, weekly time frame is still calling for this buy, so it still has more room to go up, right? Daily time frame, price is rejecting against this second deviation. It did call for a buy a couple days ago, so I remember last week I saw this sell. I'm like, yeah, I don't even try to get into that sell, because it was suspect. That's exactly why. 4-hour time frame, it's not necessarily set up for a sell quite yet, and it's very much rejecting off of that second deviation. And the 1-hour time frame, rejecting off the second deviation as well, but not necessarily set up for a sell. So yeah, it's still a little too early to tell on another USD pair, USD Mexican. All right, gold. So this was a trade that I was talking about to next wave traders, to those in DeFi domination. I was talking about this trade possibly happening, and I was like, hey, this is a trade that I'm going to possibly get into. Unfortunately, I got stopped out right here because this was the entry that I was looking at, but this was the proposed trade idea. So that's playing out very nicely. And again, what I wanted to see on gold was I wanted to see a breakout to the downside, because again, I mean, not again, but just look where price is currently at. It's currently at these low equal lows. I want to see price continue going to the downside, like come to 1823, and even come lower to break through these lows right here. Right? And then once it does that, I want a retracement, and then I will definitely be looking for a swing sell opportunity on on gold, right? So gonna go ahead and re-explain my my analysis on this gold swing sell. Let me go ahead and get rid of these. That hit pretty nicely. All right, so weekly time frame, just as I had mentioned last week, nothing has really changed for me on gold. Nope, wrong one. And that's for the swing sell. If for anybody who ended up getting into this trade for the swing, because I was mentioning like, hey, if you do want to get into this swing, it doesn't look like a bad opportunity to try to get into that swing sell. So if anybody had ever jumped into that, I'll be leaving that up there for you. This is another sell opportunity that I mentioned, but I'm like, nah, I wouldn't. I was like, that's extremely not a good trade to take. I'd rather wait for this to happen rather than to get into that. That's what I was saying. But overall, back onto the weekly. From the bearish move that price made, where it came to 1680, and then the retracement, price rejected off of that 78.6 very nicely on that weekly time frame, left that wick to the upside. I like that. I'm liking the rejection I'm seeing right now, personally speaking. For a swing opportunity, this doesn't look bad, but I'm not trying to put anybody through that type of like, oh, this is not gonna fall. But again, guys, like this is the same thing I've been saying for the past like since last week. I was saying like, oh, I want to see price reject right here. It makes some. I want to see this make a like break some structure for real. Break through here, because I mean, as much as this could be considered the lower high, I want to see this structure right here get broken before I'm like, okay, now I want to see the retracement, then a continuation to the downside. So that's what I want to see on gold. I definitely think that it's going to keep falling though. So, liking what I'm seeing from gold. The play is playing out. Going over to arbitrage, weekly time frame. I called for a buy a couple weeks ago, but I'm just like, I'm okay with not trying to buy it right there. Daily time frame still very much bullish. Price came to the third deviation, and now it's under the second deviation, so that's good to see. 4-hour time frame. Oh wow! So I wanted the breakout retest continuation, but price had called for a sell on the 18th. I did not even peep that. So if anybody saw this on the 4-hour, then hey, I would put my stop loss at break even at this point, because that's the mean line. Take partial profits. It looks pretty nice to me. I think this is going to continue falling, and the 1-hour time frame is very much bearish. So yeah, that's for gold. Like gold, I still definitely feel that that thing's going to drop. So let me go ahead and put this trade back up. There we go. There we go. So yeah, 2 targets out of 4 have been hit. Still waiting for those others to get hit. Alright, so going over to S&P. Let's see what we have here. So price bounced off of this buy box, went bullish, made a higher high, but barely stayed up there, and then came back down to the lows. Let me see this real quick. So yeah, I still think, as much as I want price to continue going bullish, it could have potentially did a little stop hunt right here, and then dropped, and then the retracement. I'll go onto the lower time frames to be able to view that better. So price dropped, the retracement up to that 71%. Price can continue falling to the downside. So you know what I'm saying? That's exactly the type of time I'm really trying to be on, what I'm seeing with this S&P right now. Not really going to try to sell it necessarily, but this is something that I'm saying that, hey, it can fall. It could potentially fall, but it's very bullish, so, you know, it's ridiculous. Oh, wow. US 30, on the other hand, is doing the exact opposite, which is very interesting to me, because I was saying, hey, if this doesn't play out, let me see if I have the drawing up here. So that hit break even. So that was a good break even hit, and don't try to get back in. Perfect. I do still have it up. All right. So my phone is jumping right now. Let me delete these. I like how US 30 does not look like the S&P right now, because I was saying that, oh, well, this still can play out right here, where from that high, from this low, where we see this wick, that price it came into, price is retraced, and it's rejecting off of the 61.8 currently, which also happens to be where like the previous all-time high was. That's where price is currently retraced back to. Just so happens to be that, right? Coincidentally. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. So price could definitely look bullish here, right? I'm always saying, oh, these things are built to buy. I like the buys on US 30 here. It's just that this is a very long-term play, and the stop loss will be pretty high. So this is just something that I would point out, and you could try to potentially play buys off of that. This looks like a bear flag to me, though. That's my only thing. This looks like a complete bearish flag. It could also be... Hold on, let me go into the lower time frames. Nah. I feel the play that it could potentially just be trying to go bearish some more, but I don't know. I really want to see how this plays out. after that bearish move right there, I wouldn't necessarily try to get into a buy, because it kind of feels like this can still go bearish. You know, again, I wouldn't be so mad if the likes of 35,472 got hit. I wouldn't be so mad about that. So let's see what happens with US30, because if it drops down there, I probably will get into a buy and probably have my stop loss at like 35,200 or something like that, to be quite honest with you. I wouldn't want my stop loss to be all the way down here at 34,000 or 35,000 basically. But I do know that that's still a possibility, right? So just going over to arbitrage, 1 hour time frame, still very, very bearish. Daily time frame, it still hasn't called for a buy yet on US30, so that's one thing to be noting. 4 hour time frame, it is bearish, but again, it's not really that good looking. So just gonna leave US30 alone when it comes to arbitrage for now, until it calls for that buy on the 1 hour. As for S&P, it's very just consolidating like, so it's more bullish than bearish though. So I would just leave those two alone. I'm not in that trade anymore. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's take a look at these cryptos real quick. All right. So this was a trade that I had called. Still currently in the red. It came up to the entry, but this is what I talked. This is what I had talked about last week on Bitcoin. Well, let me find the chart real quick. Hold on. Was it on here? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So this is the play that I was talking about on Bitcoin right here, right? Let me get rid of this, and I'll talk about that as well. Where I said that, okay, from this bullish move, by the way, that weekly doesn't look the greatest to me. I'm not really a fan of how the weekly candle closed at all. But I was saying that on the daily time frame that, okay, so the bearish move, if it retraces, it could come down to this buy box, and then price could retrace right here, right? So that's something that's what I had mentioned, right? So price is still swing wise, it looks pretty decent for a potential swing trade. You know, buying here at 58,200, and having your stop loss at 54K or 53K is not a bad opportunity at all, right? However, I do know that there's all this trading right here that has been going on up here, and price can still potentially come down to like the likes of 45K to 50K, right? If price ends up going any lower than this, if price ends up going any lower than 55,600, I really do feel like it's going to come down to like 50K or 40, like anywhere between 48K and 50K, right? That's just my personal opinion about it. So you know, yeah, like I'm gonna see what happens here. But again, if my stop loss gets hit at the current trade that I'm in, then 50K, 45K to 50K, here we come. All right. So it's gone over to closer into the charts. Price action wise on the lower time frame is not necessarily looking the greatest. I could expect price getting back down to like $57,000, right? I could expect that if this is what price is really going to do, I could expect it to come back down into like 57,000 and then continue going bullish. That's what I would want to see for the continuation play to the upside, right? If it's really going to like go bearish and do that. However, I do also see, let me actually leave a line there, right? I do also see the possibility of either price doing this move right now, which is really what it's looking like it's gonna do. Hold on, I think I have it on a different. Nah, I'll just do it right here. I don't need that right now. Where it's done this bearish flag. Right? That's what I was saying, that it was, there's this bearish flag right here. And right where the fib is at as well, it rejected right off of that. It's not necessarily the greatest look for price. It looks like right now price is going to keep going to the downside from this play right here, right? From prices rejecting off of that 78.6. But again, at that 23.6 area, that's where I'll be like, okay, this is where, if Bitcoin is going to go bullish, that I'd buy it. So I'm going to be watching to see if what's going to happen when price gets to 57,000, because that's basically what that pricing is at. And then I'll make a decision on if I'm either A, going to get into a second entry, or B, just stay in my trade that I'm already in and let my stop loss get hit, right? And even if price does go bullish, let's say price does go bullish from here, off of this play right here, right? Let's say that price goes bullish from this 57,000 area. So, continuation to the upside. If price goes up here at this 23.6 level, where everything is currently lining up for, oh, right there could be a potential place where price can go bearish. I'm just actually going to draw it out right now. Supply zone. Hide that. Gonna delete all this stuff over here because again, this is what I would kind of want to see at this point. Is from this high to this low. Look where this little supply zone, where price will be potentially going to, is gonna meet up with. It's gonna come up into this fib zone, in between, where I'll be like, okay, price could potentially fall if it comes up to this 64K area, right? Same thing even if I have this bullish, if I have this fib all the way up over here, price can still come up to that 64, 65K area before looking to make a bearish push to the downside. So that's one thing that I'm going to be watching for with Bitcoin, right? But getting that push up there, regardless, it wouldn't be such a bad thing for me. So we'll see what happens. Overall, though, let me go back to this chart. Again, this is the trade that I'm currently in right now. Let me go ahead and get out of all of that. Currently in this buy, my stop loss at break even is at 63,900. My phone just died. But yeah, 63,900, that's where my TP1 is, and my break-even point. Price came dollars, very close. Price came to 55,640, and my stop loss is at 55,600. I don't know why there's 25. 55,600. But yeah, so price came very close to hitting my stop loss. Came back up to my entry. Again, I'm holding this trade. I do see that price just rejected off of the 4-hour 50 EMA, so that's something that I'm going to be wary of. And price is currently under the 50 EMA on the daily, so that's another thing that's not a good look. But I do like the way how this wick looks. So again, I'm still gonna hold this trade. Still gonna stay up in it. And I do expect price to continue going bearish. Let me actually push this over here. There we go. So, and entries at 60,000. So there you go. That's what I have on Bitcoin. 1 hour time frame looks like it's about to call for a sell in the next hour, but I'm not going to try to get into a sell right here. 4 hour time frame, it looked like they wanted to potentially start calling for a buy, but it never did call the buy. So I'm still waiting for a buy call on that 4-hour to happen before I get in to like a potential second entry. Oops, what am I doing? Daily time frame still very much bearish. It called for actually a sell right here. So I mean, that's something that I would be like, you might want to watch for that. Last time I called for a sell, ended up falling down quite a bit, and the lower danger zone is actually lining up pretty nicely with that 48k to 50k area. So might want to watch that for sure. I know the weekly time frame though is very much still bullish. So hey, let's see what goes on with Bitcoin, right? Ethereum. Let's see what Ethereum is doing over here. So, pretty same thing analysis with Ethereum, where I was saying, hey, right here at this buy box is a potential place where we can get into a buy. I've gone into this trade opportunity right here. My stop loss, my break even area came very close to getting hit, but price made a double top and ended up dropping. So I wanted to see what Ethereum is going to do as well. It could potentially very much do the same thing as what Bitcoin is doing, where it'll come down a little lower one more time to that 4,097 area, 4,100 basically, and then go bullish. That would be one thing that I'm watching for really with Ethereum, and I would like that, right? But then again, same thing. If I turn this fib around from this high, but although like this thing, like it's been very bullish, right? It's just, who knows? Maybe the bearish wave is really coming, but we'll see about that with these cryptos. But again, price could come up very well to like 4,600, and then look to fall right in this zone, right? But again, I'm gonna be patient and wait to see what happens with these cryptos, but I am still bullish on them. So hide that. See if this is gonna play out or if price is just gonna go bullish from here. Whichever one happens, I'm okay with it. So that is with Ethereum. And again, this could definitely fall from here. Like, absolutely can still like fall. This looks like a bear flag to me right here too as well. Like, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, it might look a little better. Where price fell. Let me even make, yeah, because price came all the way down here. So this looks like a potential bear flag right here as well, right? So we'll see what really goes down with Ethereum. I like this big volume that when price that kicked in, and this type of volume didn't kick in for a while. So again, I like the bulls. I want to see Ethereum go bullish for reals. Daily time frame, not looking the greatest for a potential buy opportunity. Not gonna lie to you. The weekly time frame, however, is like, psh, what are you talking about? Keep buying this thing, or like hold. You know, it's still very much bullish. Hasn't called for a sell ever since 2020. Going on over here, I do like seeing this right here. I like seeing, oh, okay. It called for a buy, it pulled back to the lower danger zone. Is at the RSI line. I want to see it go bullish from here, but the Level Pro and Arbitrage Z are not showing that that's going to be my favor. So we'll see what happens there. 1 hour time frame, it called for a sell, but price came to the lower danger zone and is holding. If price can hold here, I like the Level Pro. It's above ground zero. I want it to stay above ground zero. Let this keep going bullish. Right, so that's for Ethereum. And XRP, I think this is still at entry, and I still feel the exact same way. Oh no, it's not at entry, but it's at that 78.6 Fibonacci level right now. So yeah, I feel like this is still at a good place where you can buy at, and if you want to throw a fib on there from these lows to the high, Price is right there at the 71% fib. Well, it was at 61.8 right now, but it bounced off of the 71. So, yeah, I still like these buy plays on these cryptos for now until they prove otherwise to me, right? So, there's that with the cryptos. Oh, let me go on to XRP real quick and show these. Let me show what the arbitrage looks like. 4-hour time frame, rejected off this, off of the lower danger zone. So that's something to keep an eye on. Called for a sell up here, although I would not have gone into this. I would have gone into right here, possibly. But yeah, right now, XRP is not necessarily looking good on arbitrage. So want to be careful with those, with the buys. Okay, going on over to GBP/USD. Down. GU. So let me go ahead and actually get rid of all this right here real quick. Ooh, I have it there for a reason, so I'm going to keep it real quick. So GU, what I was saying last week was I wanted to see what price was going to do once it came up to this 71% Fibonacci right here at 1.35367 basically, right? Price came to the 61.8, fell pretty nicely. Stop loss would be at break even for me if I would have gone into that. So this I'm going to go ahead and still leave up there because I still do think price can get up there. What I would want to see at this point is, well, I mean, price is already kind of doing that. It came over here at the 61.8 on at the lows of 1.34152 as well, right? And this is good. Sorry, I was like, okay, I've shown this enough. I think it's good now. But once price came to the 61.8, it could still potentially go bearish, although it's already hit that 23.6 low. So right now, I'm just saying that I still think that GU can potentially go bullish. It might even come up to, like, I have targets. I have 1.3. Let me just put this at 1.3600 basically. 1.36 and then 1.37 up here. Like, these are main areas where I'm looking to see if GBP/USD is gonna hit, right? From that bearish move, it looked like I was like, okay, maybe I don't necessarily want to try to get into anything, but it's not necessarily even that scary looking right now because it looks like it still could potentially go bullish, right? But I was saying that, hey, even from this high to these lows, price can still climb up to 1.3600, so that's still a possibility there. And then there's an equal high right here. There's already a high right here, so if price comes to 1.3600, it might be creating equal highs, and it could still potentially come up to the likes of 1.3700 up here. So that's why I'm like, I still have targets up over here on GU. I'm not necessarily looking so crazily for the buys right now. I mean, I'm not looking crazy for sell opportunities right now on GU, but based off of how the bears came in right here, I'm just looking at how the bears came in, and then the retracement 61.8. This could still keep falling down. So again, right now with, not again, but with GU, I'm just gonna be patient with it and see what it does. I'm not really necessarily trying to be up in it like that. I'm still in a swing buy on this though, so with that swing buy, I'm just like, let's see what's gonna play out, because again, this can still keep falling down to the downside. GBP/AUD, oh my goodness, man, this thing really stalked me out and then went bonkers like that. This thing really did stomp me out of this trade and went bonkers like this, right? So got it in at the 71% here. Price came to TP2, came and stalked me out. Literally came to stomp me out, and then went bullish. It hit TP3, almost came and hit TP4. Wow, that's actually pretty fire, GA, and I mean that so sarcastically. But anyways, I'm liking what I'm seeing on GA. However, though, remember how I was saying that with AUD USD, I'm looking for price to potentially go bullish. Well, same thing kind of applies to GA right now with me. From this high, where this wick was at, to the low, price is currently at that 71% Fibonacci level, right? It's rejected off of there 3 times now. Kind of looking to see if price is really gonna start to look bearish here, and if it does, then I'll look for sells here again, right? Like it's the same, it's the opposite of what I'm looking at for it's the opposite of what I'm looking at for AUD USD. So that's why I'm kind of looking at for GA. Nothing really too crazy at this point in time, so I'm not gonna really talk much about that. We're just gonna go over to arbitrage. I did see this on a daily time frame though, and I'm like, oh, this can definitely keep going bullish if it does retrace down to 1.8400. So that's one thing that I'm watching on for GBP AUD. 4-hour time frame it's still bullish at that second deviation, and on the 1-hour time frame, price is still looking bullish. So again, this move right here, as much as I want to see it, I'm being patient on it a little bit. Gonna wait for some good price action. Probably wait for these equal lows to get broken. Something like this might come out. That's what I'd probably look for for me to get into a sell on the lower time frames, quite honestly. So that's what I have for GA. It's not a bad swing sell necessarily, but I'm going to be patient on it because I do see on arbitrage that it could still potentially go bullish a little more, where it could just come up to like 1.87852 and then like stop hunt to the upside and then go bearish, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. Going over to the daily time frame. See how price is called for the buy, and it's showing a green candlestick right now. Price can still come down over to 1.84185 and then go bullish up to 1.88124, which if you look on the left side, you would see that that's right above the 78.6. So got to be careful with GA on that end. But I want to see what price is going to do over here. This is what I'm more interested in. So that's for GA. I'm not in that. GBP/JPY, I was saying last week that I'm like, okay, from this bullish move, the retracement caught a sell right here. That was a beautiful sell. That I was like, I don't know if I want to necessarily get into this buy right here when price came down to this fib zone. But now it looks like it wants to go bullish. So as of right now, I'm still looking for this to play out, you know? I'm not against price with the fake out to the downside, breakout, retest, and continuation. I'm not against this going bullish right now, because if that's what GU is going to do, and maybe GA even potentially going bullish, then hey, absolutely, go for it, right? So, but right now, I'm going to be patient on GJ. If anything, what I would try to do to get into this trade would be I would wait for this to, because I mean, right now it looks like a bearish flag to me, you know? So that's one thing that I'm like, ugh, do I really want to try to, it could be flagging out where it could come still potentially down to the lows of 152.650 or something like that, but I'd rather play it where it would come back down to like 152.900 and then go bullish. That's what I would want to play on GBP/JPY right now instead. So daily time frame, however, did call for the sell, and the sell rejected right off of that RSI line. So this could potentially continue going bearish. There is a wick to the downside right there a little bit, but again, it's nothing too crazy, you know. So let me get rid of this actually. So yeah, this could just still potentially go bullish. It's still 4-hour time frame. It's under the RSI line, so I would expect that it's going to call for a sell shortly. And the 1-hour time frame had called for a sell. So right now, again, I would probably just wait for price to come back down to like 152.850, and then maybe look for a buy opportunity there, right? So, last but not least, let's go on over to EG. Super bearish, man. EG super bearish from right here. I had said last week that, I would want to see what price is gonna do once it gets to this fib zone. But the way how it came down, I was like, nope, I'm not even gonna try it, because it came down too fast. And if I would have, boom, I would have been like, it would have taken me out the trade so fast. But let's go over here and look at this on a smaller time frame, right? And by the way, I am currently in this trade. So I was saying that, hey, with Euro GBP, once it came down to these lows, it looked like it just kind of like after that, then it came up to those highs. I'm like, that could have been just a liquidity grab type of play, and I want to see what it's gonna do if it comes back down. And I said that I want to see this make a breakout to the upside, retrace, and then continue to the upside, and I would try to get into a buy opportunity, right? So I had said that, okay, I'm gonna get into this buy on Monday, and that's exactly what I'm Monday today, right? So I'm in this buy opportunity. I'm actually about to call it, and I want to take it to the upside. I want to take it to make where it can make higher highs, right? So that's my what I was looking at for EG. I know necessarily the candlestick patterns is not really necessarily there, but again, this is a play that I was looking at since Friday, and I'm like, this actually looks pretty decent to me. I don't like the way the other GBP pairs look, because I do feel like they could just continue going bearish, and if they're going to continue going bearish, what is EG going to do? Go bullish. So, yeah, so that's why I'm like, let's get into this buy opportunity. This fib is originated from, or the play originated from placing the fib from that low to this high. As you can see, that's where the 71% is at, where price is currently at right now. So yeah, let's see what EG is gonna do. I like the buys here. And then coming back down over here to to the fibs, I would say on the daily time frame, still very much bearish, so it's kind of iffy to try to get into EG at this point in time. Especially on looking on the daily, 4-hour time frame agrees with the same thing, and I'm pretty sure the 1 hour agrees as well. So trying to get into the buy is a little way too early. Not even a little too early. It's way too early, but still, I'm gonna try to play that because, again, it's something that I was looking at already. So, with that being said, that is my analysis, guys. Is there any questions? I got the analysis on my other phone so that I could answer anybody if they have any questions. See what the geeks are talking about right now. EU, AUD, USD, UCHF declining up a little bit. USD Mexican not doing much. Gold looking like it wants to fall. S&P looks like it wants to go up a little high. Okay. All right. Let me see USD JPY. I mean UJ. This thing, it took me out the trade and then freaking went bullish. I haven't looked at it since, but oh my goodness, man. Let me go ahead and clear all this off. You said on the 15-minute time frame. As of right now, on the 15-minute time frame, yeah, it looks like it's going to continue going bullish. However, just off of this bearish move that just happened right here, this could be potentially looking to fall shortly. It looks like it's a rising wedge right now in the 15-minute time frame. And after that bearish move that happened, I would definitely say that, okay, this looks like it's gonna possibly turn around. Honestly speaking, I would say if I were to try to buy it, if I were to try to keep trading this, I'd take it up to like 114.272 before it just ended up falling, personally. And even if it doesn't stop there, even from this fall, 114.580, it could be expected. But again, the buys right now, I wouldn't necessarily trust them that much, but you could stay in it for sure. That's what I would say with UJ. Let me go into the daily time frame and see what it's looking like. And this is consolidating. It's in consolidating markets right now. I wouldn't even. Yeah, man, I don't know. UJ's a little weird right now. I would say probably, yeah, 114.272. That might be a place where if you're still in the buy, just take it up to there, I guess. But other than that, I wouldn't necessarily try to trade this. I'll even probably say that, if anything, maybe this has already done its retracement up to 61.8, then fell. Yeah, I would probably say to kind of stay away from this for any buys. I'd be bearish more than anything. Yeah, well, yeah, there you go, bro. Absolutely. All right, any other questions? If not, then alright, I will go ahead and hop off. Thank you guys for checking out my analysis. I do appreciate it, and